Welcome to the Explainer. So, today we are diving into a massive shift happening right now in the modern digital economy. We all know the drill, right? Every single customer interaction, every marketing push, every online transaction, it all generates data. But honestly, just collecting that data doesn't cut it anymore. The real challenge and the absolute game changer for your competitive edge is taking that massive pile of raw information and transforming it into meaningful, actionable insights. And today, we're going to see exactly how top organizations are pulling this off using a seriously powerful cloud-based analytics platform called Looker Studio.
But hey, before we get into the tech, I want you to think about your own organization for a second. How long are you waiting for your data? Seriously, imagine launching this massive high-stakes marketing campaign on a Monday and then having to wait until the end of the month just to know if it actually worked. By the time that report finally hits your desk, the window to pivot, optimize, or double down on what's working has completely passed you by. It's incredibly frustrating, isn't it? Well, this is exactly the pain point that modern business intelligence is designed to completely eliminate. Section 1. The Outdated Data Dilemma. Okay, let's dive into this. Let's take a look at where we've been. For a really long time, the business environment relied heavily on incredibly sluggish reporting methods. When market conditions shifted or customer behaviors changed, decision-makers were essentially flying blind. They were forced to make huge choices based on historical reports rather than current realities. And that brings us to this unavoidable kind of funny truth. Traditional, manually prepared spreadsheets age faster than milk in the sun. It's a bit of a joke, sure, but it hits the nail on the head regarding a massive operational flaw. The literal second you hit save on a manual spreadsheet, the data is already outdated. The business keeps moving, data keeps generating, but your report, it's just frozen in time. So the problem here is pretty glaring. Traditional reporting is manual, it's outdated, and it exists in completely isolated silos. It's inherently reactive. You're always looking in the rearview mirror at what already happened. In contrast, real-time business intelligence is automated, always current, and totally unified. It allows an organization to flip the script and be proactive, continuously updating its understanding of the landscape as new data rolls in. You aren't just reacting to last month's news anymore. You're actively steering the ship based on the weather right now.
Section 2. The Real-Time BI Solution. So, how do we finally fix those outdated processes? We step fully into the present with platforms like Looker Studio. Let's define exactly what we're talking about here. Real-time business intelligence means continuously updated dashboards that reflect your current organizational performance as the data is actually being generated. Think about what that practically means for a manager's day-to-day life. Instead of holding your breath for that end-of-month summary to realize a product line is underperforming, you can monitor your key performance indicators right this very second. You can catch problems early, evaluate campaigns mid-flight, and make highly informed decisions without requiring any manual intervention to update the numbers. The platform is doing all that heavy lifting for you right behind the scenes.
Section 3. Unifying your data sources. Now, obviously, real-time data is only really helpful if it's actually all in one place. You likely have marketing data sitting over in Google Analytics and Google Ads, deep data warehouses in BigQuery or SQL databases, and legacy stuff just hanging out in Microsoft Excel or random CSV files. Usually, these live completely independently of each other. Think about how chaotic it is to have 6 different browser tabs open, desperately trying to cross-reference a CSV file with your Google Ads performance just to figure out your true return on investment. Looker Studio cuts right through that complexity. Using its built-in connectors, it rapidly pulls all these independent data silos directly into one, beautifully unified ecosystem. And I've got to tell you, this centralized approach provides immense relief. You get to monitor sales, engagement, and operational metrics from a single interactive dashboard. You completely eliminate all that repetitive, mindless manual data collection. And perhaps more importantly, you create incredible organizational alignment. Instead of executives sitting in a room reviewing separate, conflicting reports from different departments and arguing over whose spreadsheet is the correct one, everyone is looking at the exact same centralized data. It creates one single source of truth for the entire company. Section 4, Transforming Insights into Action. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that all this unified data is essentially useless unless it's crystal clear and totally actionable. Here is exactly how the Looker Studio workflow solves that problem. First, you connect your sources. Second, you automate the reporting, so those dashboards refresh whenever the connected data updates. Third, you filter and analyze. Looker Studio allows you to convert massive, intimidating raw data sets into intuitive,
interactive charts, scorecards, and maps. Through interactive filters, an executive can literally just click a drop-down menu and instantly see third-quarter performance in Europe versus Asia without having to go beg the data team to spend 3 days creating a completely new report. And finally, step 4, because the data is immediate and clear, you make much faster, much better decisions. So, the crucial takeaway for us here is simply this. You need to focus on interpreting insights, not compiling spreadsheets. By automating the reporting process, Looker Studio gives teams their single most valuable resource back, their time. Instead of an analyst wasting all of Thursday and Friday manually compiling the weekly performance wrap-up, they can spend Friday morning actually strategizing and finding new opportunities because the report essentially builds itself. Stakeholders always have access to accurate information, allowing them to focus their energy on actual strategic improvements.
Section 5. Intelligence across every industry.
Now, you might be thinking this sounds great, but probably just for tech companies, right? No way. Real-time BI has become an absolute necessity across virtually every sector. Let's break it down. In marketing, professionals are using real-time dashboards to instantly track a Black Friday ad blitz, shifting budgets hour by hour to the best-performing channels. In finance, institutions are monitoring cash flow, budgets, and revenue entirely on the fly. Healthcare organizations use it to evaluate bed availability, operational efficiency, and vital patient outcomes in real time. And in retail, businesses are utilizing it to avoid stockouts on hot items by precisely tracking inventory and customer purchasing behavior. And because it's a cloud-based environment, teams across all these diverse fields can collaborate globally, staying perfectly on the same page. Section 6. The future of intelligence. Let's move to and see how this builds into the future of data. Because business intelligence definitely isn't standing still, and the platforms we use need to evolve right alongside it. As we look ahead, BI is deeply intertwining with artificial intelligence, machine learning, predictive analytics, and cloud computing. Organizations increasingly require platforms that don't just show what happened yesterday or even what is happening right now, but platforms capable of proactively identifying hidden patterns and forecasting future performance. We are moving from reactive metrics to predictive analytics, literally knowing what will happen before it actually does. Looker Studio's scalable cloud architecture and constantly growing ecosystem of integrations perfectly position it to support this entire intelligent evolution. I really want to highlight this quote directly from our source material because it captures the stakes perfectly. The ability to transform information into meaningful business intelligence will remain one of the defining competitive advantages of modern organizations. There is a rapidly widening gap in the business world today. On one side, you have data-driven organizations that can pivot and operate with total agility. On the other side, you have companies being left entirely behind, buried under a pile of outdated spreadsheets. Professionals who develop real expertise in unified tools like Looker Studio are the ones equipped to bridge that gap and drive genuine innovation. So, I will leave you with this final, provocative thought to consider. Will your organization survive an AI-driven future without real-time data? If your competitors are out there making immediate decisions based on what is happening right this exact second, can you really afford to make your decisions based on what happened last week? Absolutely not. It's time to upgrade your reporting processes, fully embrace the cloud, and turn your raw data into your absolute greatest competitive advantage. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this sparks some killer ideas on how you can transform your own organization's intelligence.